Alright guys, next video in the series we're going to talk about some of the tools that you're going to need to help you out in map reading and land navigation. Just to touch back on the last video, I missed a couple things. I tend to rush. Pretty good at land nav, maybe not so good at making videos, but I didn't want to mislead you guys or leave anything out, so we'll start off by going over a couple more things. I'm going to show you a better illustration of what a draw looks like, so you have a better idea on that. It could be just a single hilltop, or that ridge line with a few hilltops. These again are contour lines, so they're going to be running. And whatever else is down here doesn't matter. On a draw, you're going to have these points in your contour lines that draw into either that ridge line or that hilltop. And again, if you're on the ridge line or the hilltop, obviously the elevation is going down. So these points are going to draw up, therefore calling it a draw. And again, that's where you're going to find water, usually. Not all the time, but usually in a draw there'll be some type of runoff, maybe a little stream or something like that. So I just wanted to draw that a little better for you guys so you can see it. Let me get rid of that real quick. So you have, again, 5 major terrain features, and you actually have 5 minor ones as well. The one that I left out is, if you look at it this way, got your little pathfinder there. There's a cliff, alright? So obviously it drops off. What that's going to look like on a map is a series of contour lines, and it may use a hilltop for example. So now you have a series of contour lines. And what's going to happen with them is they're all going to run into each other right here. So that represents your cliff, where a series of contour lines are going to run into themselves at one point, and that represents the drop off of a cliff. So five major terrain features and 5 minor ones as well. So I just wanted to catch you guys up to speed on that. I apologize for leaving it out in the last video. But I'm going to reset my camera. We're going to break out the map and our other tools that we're going to use for land nav. So stay with me. Alright guys, so we're back. Decided to draw out each one of them pictures again for you, just so you can see what each of them look like, and they're named right there on the board. Hopefully that explains it and shows it a little better. Again, the main one that I just touched on was draws. Easy way to remember that is they point up. All the points point up towards the hilltops. And again, that's usually where you're going to find water in those. Right aside of those are the spurs. They're the parts on your fingers that I explained that stick out. So usually right beside a draw, you're going to find a spur. It doesn't necessarily have to come off the edge of a hilltop or whatever. But again, usually if there's a draw there, there's a spur right next to it. So hopefully that shows it. I wasn't able to get pictures. I could probably go on the internet, but I have no way of printing them out. So you can see what it actually looked like on landscape. I got a comment on my first video about that. I apologize. This is a tough series to do. I mentioned it in my kit video, the first one I did, that I'm pretty good at land nav. Probably not so good at shooting videos, like I said, and explaining this stuff to you guys. But I'm going to try my best, and hopefully at least somebody can take something away from this. So the tools that we're going to use is, sorry about that, I have my map case here, and it's a tri-fold. Let's see if I can zoom this out for you guys. That's about it. It's just a camo pattern tri-fold map case. It's got some pockets in there. It's Velcro. It has a bigger section in the back for your map. I have a waterproof map. I don't recommend to anybody, even if you keep a map in here, if you're plotting grid coordinates and stuff like that, I don't recommend doing it with the map inside the plastic case because it can shift around on you. I don't recommend using markers. I do have a set here, and they're permanent marker, and they're Luma color, so you can use your red lens at night, and whatever you draw on with these is going to illuminate so you can see it better. Again, I don't recommend using markers to plot grid coordinates, which is something we're going to get into later, but it just leaves a big mark on your map or on your clear plastic case, and you can be off by hundreds of meters depending on how big that dot is that you use. Alright, another tool is a protractor. I don't know how good you guys will be able to see that. Let me just shift the camera down towards the map. Alright, this one happens to be GTA, Graphic Training Aid. It's right from the Department of the Army. You can get these pretty much anywhere. Just because it's from the Army, there's nothing special about it. They all work the same. This one has a 1 in 50,000 scale, a 1 in 100,000 scale, and a 1 in 25,000 scale, or 250,000. And that's just these triangles here. And we'll get into that once we get into plotting grids and stuff, but you definitely need one of these when you're doing land nav, so you're able to plot grid coordinates and stuff like that, get degrees. On the inner markings here is all degrees. Obviously it goes up to 360. Then on the outside edge all the way around it, it has mils. And we're not going to go too much into that. I don't know a lot about mils, to be honest with you. I just know how to use them for military purpose, and I'm not going to get into any of that because it could be OPSEC. So we'll just leave it at that. Last but not least, I have my military style Kaminga compass. I'm not sure how good the video is going to pick this up, but it's got the eyesight. This folds down. It's got the line inside for shooting azimuths. You can just fold this down. There's a couple different ways to shoot azimuths, and again, that's going to be in a later video, so we won't touch on that now. Alright, so those are the tools that we need. We got our map, compass, protractor, and what I like to use for a writing utensil, just to show you, because I do carry it in my case, is just I think it's a 0.5 millimeter pencil, and it just spins, and the lead comes out of the front of it. Don't have to worry about sharpening it. It's a fine point, so when you get into plotting grids and stuff, it'll make you a lot more accurate than just using a regular pencil, or like I said, using a marker. So that's what I like to use. That's my preferred marking device, if that's what you want to call it. Alright, so back to the whiteboard here. Alright, we'll start with the top left. That's what a ridge is going to look like on your map. All those circle lines and all them lines that you see right there on the whiteboard are representing contour lines which show elevation. So I'm going to try to find each one of these on the map for you. I can tell you, I've already been looking, I can tell you right now, I couldn't find a cut and I couldn't find a cliff. Everything else, we should be good to go. So I'll be back with you in 1 second. So I have to move the camera, so I'll save you all the hoopla there. But we'll come back and we'll pick out a ridge. So stay with me.